Okay, so one of the big important steps in running any kind of client account, including in e-commerce or coaching, is to start mapping out the funnel that we're going to be using for this client. Now, there's a couple different options in terms of funnel. Even if we're rapid fire testing, it's always worth mapping out the funnel that we're eventually going to be using, okay? So, for example, if you're using gamification, you can test this out using lead ads, although you're going to have to build out that funnel afterwards. A lead ad is not really going to work with that kind of structure. So what we do is we use Lucidchart. However, there's lots of different tools out there that you can use. And you can also access these templates as well. And so this is one of the standard, this is a pretty typical lead gen funnel. This pretty much works across any and all of them. There's a separate funnel for gamification. So if you are running gamification as a hook, that would be the one to use. This is a standard lead gen where you have an offer or a hook, and so you're sending them to that offer page. So what we have here is our two campaigns. So we're going to have our stage 1 and our stage 2, top of funnel targeting cold audience, and then bottom of funnel targeting warm audience. This is probably more like middle of funnel, but that's okay. And we've got success metrics along each step as well. So at the top of the funnel, we've got our Facebook ad. It's going to be run as a conversion objective when we activate the funnel. What we're looking for here is a 1% click-through rate and a $3 or less cost per click. The reason it's important to put these metrics in place is so that your team understands where they should be tracking, and if when they're basically reporting on the funnel, they know exactly where potential bottlenecks are happening based on if the numbers are matching up to those success metrics or not. So for example, if we have a minimum 20% conversion rate required on our offer page, but the team you start to track the funnel and you realize your conversion rate is only 10%, then you know that your bottleneck is happening here. So it's important to map out these metrics here. So typically have a look at the industry standard conversion rates for metrics here. But typically your landing page should convert at a minimum of 20%. You should be getting a 1% click-through rate on top of funnel. This may be a bit lower if you're in a dry industry like insurance or mortgage brokers. But then bottom of funnel should be a lot higher as well because this is a warm audience. And then you start to say like what kind of audiences you're going to be testing out here, okay? And who will you be excluding? Here we have a bit of a breakdown on what happens. So we've got our offer page, they opt in, then there's a thank you page, we've got our standard event lead. Again, we map this out so that at any one time our team can access this through the Google Drive folder, and they will be able to find really quickly what events are being used throughout the funnel instead of having to go through it themselves, right? We also are going to map out the email sequences that we're going to be setting up for the client. So this should be number 5. So typically the way that it runs for lead gen is you have one email that's sent immediately. You can connect this to SMS. So if you choose to collect mobile information, you can also do Messenger. So that's another option as well. But essentially, you're going to send an email immediately with access details to the offer, recap the benefits, recap why they should, claim it, and build some urgency in there. That's really important. If you do have SMS, you will find a much higher open rate, and typically your clients will close those a lot higher as well. The email sent on the following day is addressing one of the objections. So remember when we were doing our personas, we had objections in here. What are some of the things that they are not going to be, why aren't they buying from you? Why wouldn't they buy from you, right? Identifying those objections and then one by one annihilating them in your email sequence, and also your retargeting as well. And that's a great way because that's all sales is. Sales is really just addressing people's objections. And so if you can identify those really well, then you'll be successful here. The third one is a testimonial story. So make this a story. So talk about how, hey, she was really nervous to come in and work with us, or they'd lost a lot of money here. Like, humanize the experience, and then this is the result. Instead of just being like, hey, I'm Carol and I love working with Peter. He's amazing, right? So build in those stories. You're going to have to work with your client to flesh those out, obviously. If you don't have testimonials, just keep going with the objections. Just keep following the objections. Or proof points. So if you have, if you don't have testimonials, but you have like really good images of, hairdos that have been done or something like that, that could work too. And on it goes. So we're mapping out this funnel here, and we map out the success metrics so that when we go to track our funnel internally, we know exactly where the potential bottlenecks are happening, and we know how to set this up. So anyone on the team at any one time can come in and view this, and they know exactly what is happening.